Hey, welcome in everybody, and we are here for yet another game review. Matt here, and today we're going to talk about the 10 good and bad things in the game Unravel 2. Be aware this video may contain spoilers. Unravel 2 is a puzzle platformer game, and it was created by the Swedish indie game studio called Coldwood Interactive, and it was published by Electronic Arts. The game was released on June 9, 2018 for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows. On March 22, 2019, a Nintendo Switch version has been released. In this video, I will compare this game with the former game and my review of the former game. Unlike the first game, this time the player plays two characters, which open the opportunity to play it with one more person in case that you want to, as one character each. With these characters, the players solve puzzles and reveal an interesting story. So let's jump right into the list of 10 good and bad things in the game Unravel 2. We will start with the 5 good things. Number 1. Graphics. In compared to the first game, this game graphics have gotten much better. The color, the particles, and the characters have improved significantly, and it helped the player to enjoy the environment even more than in the first game. The game's graphics also improved the level of enjoyment, as to sometimes it's just fun to stand still and stare at the details. It is pleasant to see the contrasts of the bright and dark colors, and it's also pleasant to see the details of how the environment reacts with the player's movements. Number 2. Environment. The detail in the environment has improved as well. Although the developers has removed a few ideas from this game in compared to the former game, they added new and interesting things to the environment. The environment's lighting are very well done and makes every detail clear and understandable. In the former fact, I stated that the environment reacts to the player's movement. By doing so, the player can feel the weight of the character in the game's words and how effective every movement is. Number 3. The characters. As I stated earlier in this video, this game let the player play two characters. This was a very smart decision by the developer, as it's a major upgrade from the first game. The player needs to solve puzzles that requires both characters, which raise the difficulty in compared to the first game. The player can play both characters in a single player game, or playing with friends in a co-op game as one character each. Although it doesn't show much during the game, each character has its own personality. After seeing a difference in their personalities at the beginning of the game, the developer made it in a way that the player still feels the differences throughout the whole game. Number 4. Puzzles. The puzzles in this game are much more difficult than the puzzles that are in the first game, which make this game more challenging than the first one. Solving puzzles with two characters clearly have a huge impact on the puzzles themselves. But not just that, some of the elements in the environment are affecting the puzzle solving process, such as a tree branch or a shaded area that are hiding certain objects that are required to continue the level. The puzzles are getting more complicated as the game progresses, but that's to be expected. And the complexity of the levels are very interesting and fun to solve. Number 5. Music. In the game review that I made for the first game, I stated that although the music was beautiful, it was very repetitive and eventually a bit annoying. In this game, however, things changed. The music is still very beautiful, but there is a lot of change in terms of frequency and volume. It doesn't feel like that every level has the same music that is playing in a loop. The music also fits very well with the atmosphere of every level, and in general, the music in this game is very good. I hope that you enjoyed of what you've seen so far. I want a few seconds to talk about our sponsors. Overpowered Clothing, a clothing company for gamers. In their website, you can purchase t-shirts, long-sleeve shirts, and hoodies. You can also find clothes where you can add your own tagline to them. Aside from selling clothes, Overpowered Clothing are involved with several charity events that are helping with mental health organizations to show how gaming can help people with their own mental health. By purchasing an item, you are also helping with this important cause. You can use my redeem code for a 10% discount. The 5 bad things. Number 1. The yarn concept has been removed from the game. Although the characters are made of yarn and they can use it to do various things in a similar way to Yarny in the first game, the original concept of the yarn itself has been removed from the game. In the first game, as long as Yarny kept going forward, the yarn slowly degraded until Yarny could not progress anymore until he found a pile of yarn for restock purposes. In this game, however, the characters are attached together with the same yarn string, which could equally be done with 2 men and a rope. Therefore, the yarn concept is not relevant anymore. Number 2. Some of the animals have been removed. Part of the great appeal in the first game is the animals that are in it. In the first game, there are hamsters, fish, flies, birds, and more. Their appearance is pretty well done and they add a lot to the game. Even the animals that Yarny is not interacting with. In this game, however, the amount of animals in the environment have been reduced dramatically. The main animals that the characters are interacting with are birds and fish. Although the levels with the animals are challenging and fun, the lack of different animals hurt the appeal of the game, in my opinion. Number 3. Double Jump. There is a double jump feature in this game. Unfortunately though, it is only at the end of the game where the double jump does not pose as a tool for high levels of puzzles. Let me elaborate on this. The puzzles in this game are challenging, but it could have been even more challenging and fun if there was puzzles where double jump is essential in them. Instead of that, the game introduced the double jump at the end, where it feels like they added it for appearance only. They could have made some cool levels with this feature, but unfortunately, they didn't. Number 4. Storytelling. The story is interesting and pretty dark. Although I did enjoy the storytelling was not entirely understandable. In general, the story is about 2 children that are running away from a group of adults, and it is pretty obvious that the adults posing dangers for these children. While playing the game, the player can see how the story is unfolding by scenes that are showing in the background, but there is nothing that tells what exactly happened and why it is happening. Are the 2 yarn characters represent the 2 children? It makes sense in a way, but why are the adults chasing those kids? There are no clear explanation for what's happening, and it's a bit of a shame. Number 5. Dark levels. One major part in the first game was the level design, where the main character moved through the 4 seasons, where there were rainy levels and sunny levels. But in Unravel 2, most of the levels were very dark and had no daylight in them. Although it makes sense because it's connected to the story itself, I still think that they should have added the sunny day format. There are very few sunny day moments in this game and they are beautiful. I think that they should have thought of that during development. And that was the list. In conclusion, the game is challenging and fun. I haven't mentioned this, but some people define this game as a children's game, but I disagree. The reason that I disagree is because the game is challenging enough for adults as well. The story feels like it's not complete and leaves the player with some questions in mind. And it is a bit annoying that the double jump feature is not represented well in this game. But all in all, this is a game worth checking out if you are into puzzle games. If you play this game, please let me know what do you think about it in the comments below. And that's all for the video. Thank you so much for being here so far, and be sure to check out my other content as well. Have a nice day and enjoy your games.